Folks, Black Bull Markets have 10 merch packs to give away to clients who sign up before the end of the year, including one of these trader keys. So to go in the draw, all you need to do is sign up with the link below this video or in the podcast description, and you'll go in the draw to win. It's that simple. And remember, folks, when you sign up to Black Bull Markets through the Trading Nut link below, you're going to get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000 on your first deposit. All you need to do is click the link in the description below the video or the podcast.
Good morning, mate. How are you? That's good. Hey, Marin. Happy New Year. I'm well, thanks. Long time no see. Alrighty. I think we're all good. I think everything seems to be working. All right. So we'll wait for people to roll in. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. I hope everything's well or better. Good to have you back. I remember you saying that that's from a while ago as well. Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. Hey, Locke. How are you? All right. So let's have a look where we're at. Going to trade German. I've got a few areas that I've got my eye on. Now we've got some issues. We've got, if we just do a little quick trade and then quick analysis, and then we're going to wait for London Open. So we've got, we're in the range for German, as you can see. We're inside of this consolidation. Price is trying to break out of it. We have on the lower time frames. Okay, let's just go straight to the 4 hour. I'm not going to go too into depth into every single little thing, but essentially this is that daily range that we've been fighting inside of, and you can see that we're at the top end of it now. We have bullish equities. I'm bullish NAS, US equities, bullish in gold as well. So we're seeing that we're all, everything's looking like it wants to break out. We got a bank holiday today, so in the US. So it's going to be thinner market conditions. We've got the Martin Luther King Day. Other than that, we don't really have much news on the schedule, on the docket. We pushed up a lot during the agent session. I'm just going to drive right down into these lower time frames to straight away. Okay, so we've got this agent session is a concern because I was bullish, but we've already moved 108 pips. So I didn't particularly want to take sales immediately, but it's looking like sales are the best play right now. My zones that I had in here I've got this as structure, this gray section. So as soon as we can close inside of this, then I'm well expecting that we push at least 30 pips pretty rapidly, and hopefully get to the top of this gray box, but I think this will be a little bit of a problem area, this little red one with this thin black line, mainly because it is, if we zoom out a touch, we'll see that over here, this big spike up on the first day of the month, January, 2nd of January, when we ripped up and then ripped down. Crazy volatility, 300 pips in this day. Anyway, we had that was kind of where London session broke out from. Not sure if it was a liquidity grab or whatever, but it pushed up, came back down, sat on this little thing, and then dropped. And then we've got the same sort of little liquidity grab thing going on just a few days ago. Now, so I think this is going to be a little bit of a problem area, the 16,820. Oh, is someone talking to me? Okay. So I'm looking for something to close inside of here, and then we can trade it up. Until then, this can be a bit of a reaction point. This is also a reaction point. Now, I've got my eye on this level, on this purplish box on the lower time frames. What we can see is with the Asian session, it was just kind of really trendy as it just pushed up. So a lot of this has just created that trend line liquidity that we can sweep. Okay. Just forgive my trend line. I'm obviously not trying to be super accurate with the trend line, but given the point that it's created these really obvious trend, and it's looking like now it's just doing a liquidity grab. This is the last little bit of structure before that led to a higher close. Okay, so we've got a little bit of support under here. So this is at the moment it's breaking through it. Now we've got another after that. I think it's kind of clean traffic all the way down. I know we've got a little bit of a rejection across here. So I don't want to catch a falling knife. I would need to see this slow down before we can start to trade it back up. Because I think it could it easily could correct this whole move. So the next level I've got here is on the 30-minute chart. It's a little bit clearer. We've got this Asian low from this blue box. This is where the move started for today. And we've got these liquidity, these little rejection wick things. So because it's underneath the Asian low, and I know the Asian low will have liquidity underneath it, this price could tap into here as well. Failing that, if we close underneath that, I don't really see any reason why it's going to stop until we get to the New York low. So I don't really want to trade inside of this area or this area unless I've got some strong price action showing that we're turning around. Because if we're rejecting here, price could stay in this range because we are in this higher time frame range. So these purplish boxes are really my only areas I'm looking to trade from. And once we can get back above this gray area, I'd be pretty happy with a liquidity grab to be scaling inside this gray box. So that's where we lie. So now it's just going to be a simply wait and see. And if we get a trade, awesome. If we don't get a trade, or if I don't get a trade, then I'm not going to force a trade. Okay. Not every day is going to give us the best options, especially days when you've got public holidays and whatnot. And we are inside this range on a higher time frame as well. So that's where you have it. That's my analysis. You guys see anything different? Imbalance candle on H1 and H4. Let's have a little look at that. Yep. This guy over here, you can see what happens with that guy, a little H1 imbalance. Lila fan, thoughts on NAS NYC later? The markets are closed, so it'll be open, it'll be moving. The NASDAQ. The spot futures price will be tracking the NASDAQ, but it's actually the actual NASDAQ itself is actually closed. So I expect I'm not going to be trading. That's for me. Do you think Davis may affect the market much this week? Not sure. Not sure. All right, what a move from up here. Yeah, just done a full-on grab. Price coming down. Oh yeah, good one. It's all a little bit too early for me. All right, so I got a little bit of structure here. Let's see if it can. It's probably just going to sweep this whole move, to be fair. Buy zone, marriage buy zone 736, 726. So you're looking at this area. Or to be precise, this area. Fairly straightforward day. It's just going to be some waiting involved. Where you have a line, that's your H1 order block level. You look at this red candle. If price retraces M5 to the bearish FEG formed before tapping into H1 bullish order block, you're tempted to sell. I mean, it's nice that we've had like quite a bit of movement in the Asian session. Like it has created, like it's stretched the chart, so it gives like some clearer zones. It's not like they're really overlaying. There'll be something in the market everywhere for buyers and sellers, I believe. Sell into that order block. Cool. It's like a few people got their plans together. Because obviously I missed this rally, which is a little bit annoying because I was trying to get buys on Friday constantly, especially like when we got into that London close area, and I really thought we were just going to start like rallying, and it was just so slow inside of here that I gave up trying to find anything. After this, I thought we were going to rally hard for I thought we were going to rally hard early, and we kind of did. We did have a good push, but I thought we were going to actually like push up into this zone, and this is like the area that I had flagged for last Friday. But then the market obviously didn't give it. I thought there would be a bit more pent up volume, given that we had a shortened week this week for the US equities. Oh, sorry, no, this is German. It was on NAS. It was in this one. This is where I've really struggled to get into a trade last Friday. It was just too slow, too choppy. Now that then it was annoying that when I woke up this morning, that Asian session had done that rally. Really annoying. So I can't buy up here because this is the moves already happened, and then I didn't want to sell from here. Well, I missed the sells specifically because this is just way too early. When I get up and then have a look at the markets, I want to see price sort of set up a little bit. So this move has happened too early. So I'm keen to buy still and hold my original bias now. But I obviously can't buy this when the price is coming down. So now I just need to wait. Need to wait till I see bullish price action forming again, or approaches one of my like higher quality zones that I'm more prepared to take a bit of an impulsive buy from. Until then, I'm not going to sell this, especially because I missed that move. And I'm not going to buy because it's coming straight down. So I've got 15 minutes until London Open. So I'm just going to hang tight. Just maybe answer some questions if you've got anything. How's your weekend, guys? Yeah? What? How so? Yeah. Nice one. Beauty. Yeah. When are you going to leave? Mm-hmm. When am I in Aussie? I'll go on Feb 12th. We'll fly out. Yeah, I'm there for a month. So Feb 12th to March 11th. Yeah, Sydney and Canberra. Okay, this is the Asian 50%. So curious to see what it does. This Asian 50%. If we can also find a bit of a bounce from this area. Daniel looking at 16,670. Beauty. Yeah, that's right where I've got this area as well. How do you find a high quality zone? So for me, high quality zones are going to reside around you see these colored boxes here. The green is my standalone New York session. The pink is my standalone London session. Blue is my standalone Asian session. And then the shorter, smaller yellow one is just the 2 hours before London. So I treat that as pre-London. You're going to have, I find the high quality zones going to reside around session highs, lows, and 50%. So if you can get like a confluence of where you've got like a few highs together, like line up with 50%, there's a high chance that you're going to get a zone around there. And then it adds like you add a little bit of a confluence as well. So like imbalanced candles where you've got like no candles with no bottom wicks or top wicks. Liquidity wicks where you've got like engulfing candles, bearish engulfing candles, really strong rejection wicks, or if you have like price sort of moves up, makes a high, comes down, makes a low, using the closing prices of the candles. Okay, and then sort of does and then breaks out. This is a bit of structure like this. So price comes down to that, and this is near like a session low, Asian low or something like that. And just underneath it, this is going to be a high quality area for liquidity. Also, maybe if you've got like price pushes up and then does something like this, where you've got like trend line liquidity. And if this lines up also with a session low, I'll just say S for session, then this is also going to be something that you can find price will skewer into, grab liquidity, and then react from. So you just got to kind of timing is everything in this market. So I really like to use these session highs, lows, 50%, and then try find like some price action. Like this is a bit of structure. This is a trend line liquidity. this lines up with a London high as well. So I dare say, and then on the 1 hour time frame, we've got an imbalanced candle. So there's quite a few reasons why this area is liquidity. So we should see reactions at this zone. Whether it's a reaction that starts a trend from is yet to be seen, but you should see at least reactions, because we know market moves in waves. So you see reactions at all these little kind of levels, and they're usually reacting off something to the left. It's just about looking for them and then having to be flexible enough to go through the time frames, because you might not see something on a specific time frame. So have a look at all time frames, and you might see something that actually stands out a little bit more, that's a bit more interesting than others, and then highlight it. The more you highlight it, the more you practice it, you'll get better at identifying these zones. Thoughts on gold? I'm bullish on gold. Very bullish on gold for this year. I mean, gold held its strength all through basically last year and a lot of the year before. We had like one bigger pullback, but normally like high interest rates is kryptonite for gold. But gold pretty much held its own. If not, I mean, we saw how strong US dollar's been in the last few years, and gold has arguably been stronger, and that's not a normal condition. So imagine now with this year, the US dollar definitely been on the easing path. They've already flagged they're going to cut interest rates. The question is how many. So that should just be even more bullish for gold. Plus, you've got record amounts of buying from these non-US countries after they've seen how the US can weaponize the financial system. So one way to get around sanctions for the like BRICS countries is to buy gold, which gives them exposure to US dollar without direct exposure to US dollar. So that's happening in record amounts. So we've got non-US countries, central banks around the world, purchasing gold in record amounts. We've got gold holding its strength in the last few years despite rising interest rates. We've got war tensions around the world, just Red Sea as well now creeping along. So all of this is going to be a catalyst for gold buys. So I'm bullish, long-term bullish. Any pullbacks? I think 2000 is the new floor. So I can't see anytime it sort of pulls back, I think just gives more opportunities to buy more. So that's my thoughts. Hey, Hannah. Good to see you there. Hey, hope you're doing well. Jim, you agree with buys? Oh, yeah. How's your foot, mate? Is that today? Beauty. Yeah, this pullback's a bit annoying, but I think maybe it could. It's a nice candle. That 5-minute candle is lovely. London night, yeah. See it, yeah, bang on. Oh, did you, Dave? Good one. Okay, let's hope it works out. Yeah, it's better when it's a London session. Like, well, I'm gonna actually enter with a trade. Just I'll show you where my stop loss is first. Stop loss. I'm worried about this bit if it falls through. So I don't want to hold it too far under this candle, but I'm aware London might do a little sweep. So I'm just going to keep it underneath this area for now. I'm going to trust this 5-minute candle as a support. So it's a bit of a wider stop loss. Target, I'm going to target up here. It's going to be a smaller risk because what I'd prefer to do is actually scale into this one. So I'm just going to pop this on. And then let's see if this level can hold. Okay. If it takes me out, it's not to worry. But that 5-minute candle did look good. Whether it's a buyer's trap, that's yet to be seen. I just want to see. I know there's going to get a bit of volatility. I don't like normally entering before London, but I wonder if it's just going to be a little bit too quick for me to actually trigger anything when London Open does start. And it could very well, if I do wait for London Open, I have seen when it's like in the last few minutes when it starts to rise up, then it's if I have to enter around this area and it just goes straight up, then I'll be missing the trade. So I'd rather just get into the trade in the smaller position with a wider stop loss and anticipate that this can happen and then see if my idea and see if my zone is going to work. If it doesn't, if it keeps on going lower, I know that I've got other zones where I'm willing to enter in on. Gosh, Robbie D. It's not good. Do you smoke? What's my take on EU on swing long? There's a guy that's been tuning in, and he's been in a EU swing long for a long time. I haven't really looked at the chart, but my take on Euro and USD is they're kind of in a battle to see which central bank's going to start cutting rates first and the furthest. So I find that there's no real consensus on what's going to happen yet. So my take on EU is it's likely to be traveling sideways based on central bank policy. That's not clear. So for a swing long position, wouldn't be my trade. Krindler seems about a pivotal point for price turnaround. Yeah, it's either going to go up or down, isn't it, from here? So it's either going to store here for a little bit and then we're going to see a low put in otherwise, or it's going to drill down further with this incoming London volume. So we'll see. Just make sure like this trade, this first one, it's don't bet your house on it. This hour candle's looking aggressive. This one looking aggressive in a range, like ultimately a range. Just wanted to see if that initial London Open volume, if this can indeed hold, if we can get a good trade from here. We shall see. Morning, Beata. Let's check financial juice. We had Taiwanese elections as well over the weekend, so that's likely to annoy you know who. The diplomatic party won. Then we're already seeing some pressure going on. So who knows what this is going to do. Certainly doesn't help the situation around the world. That's for sure. But then you've seen Nauru, who, I mean, kind of insignificant in the global world, but they do have ports that China have helped put money into. So they've definitely got some influence over Nauru, and it looks like they've starting to side with China. I don't want to get political on this. I'm just talking in general. It doesn't bode well for global peace. Doesn't seem so. As from a trading point of view, any fear, uncertainty, or doubt is good for safe havens and good for gold. Not good for equities. So just be mindful of that. There's a trading outcome that can be taken from looking into these global affairs. All right. 1 minute to go. Do I have sunlight yet? We do. I'm going to turn the lights off. Give me 1 second. All right. Come on. Let's go. Straight up. No. Wrong way. We'll see, though. See if this can flip. $16,707. Yeah, just taking this area. This is that swing that I didn't want to see it pressure too low, too much lower into it. If I use the closing prices of these 1 minute candles, so see how you like using the closing prices. Low time. This is 1 minute. Don't want to really take trades off of the 1 minute. I'm just looking at this as structure. So just refine this bit. Now I put my stop loss underneath here for a reason. I don't want to see it breaking this low or pressuring down lower for this initial little long move. But I'm using the candle closing, or like the candle bodies rather than the wick. And then what we're seeing, London, take the euro low, react off of here. Now, if we can see it just press up from here, this is the thing I didn't want to see, or I don't like from London, is sometimes it will just open a no bottom wick and go if it's low enough, or other times it'll do like a sweep. And this is quite annoying when it does this. So we'll see if it can turn around. What we need for it to turn around is a bit of a pause. So even if it like comes up a little bit and then creates like a little like lower high and then comes down and then it just hesitates here for a while, then if it's really sort of failing to make a new low, then we can see that they get their price that they want, and then hopefully push price up for the higher time frame. Let's see though, because at the moment it's broken down, reacting from that same level it bounced from, so that euro low area. Long wick for the wick fill. Yeah, so if it does a wick fill, goes lower, I'll give it a second chance. But I'll just wait for I was just hoping like this play was based on London Open just going straight up. So I'm really not worried about this. Yeah, it looks like it's going to drive down. If it drives down further, it's going to correct that whole Asian move before it starts to, at least maybe some bullish pressure comes in. I mean, given it's a London session, they could come all the way down to where they left off before New York session started. So that's why, like, I really don't want to hold much if it's breaking underneath here. I'm really not interested in trading anything until I've got at least some bullish price action and bullish structure. Hey Tom, how are you? All right, was that the seller's trap, perhaps? Like this area? Hoping that was the seller's trap. Three minutes. A few little wicks. Let's just start breaking it back above. Come on. Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Joey's saying the 5 minute open with no bottom wick doesn't mean we go back down. Where's the 5 minute? Yeah, it's nice if if the 5 minute candle started with a wick, but we'll see. See if we can. Yeah, I'd like to I would prefer to see a rejection wick, and then this one here just doesn't quite meet that criteria. I know it's longer than the body, but it still managed to close below these previous candles. So to me, this potentially is still going to wick fill. So even though it looks like we've got some long wicks, I'm not convinced yet at the lows in. Not yet. It's looking like at least it's rejecting, but it's neither here or there yet for which direction it's going to go. Little gap down when that candle opened. Not that I trade 1 minute, but I'd be more interested to watch this on 1 minute than the higher time frame. All right, almost back in the profit land. Yeah, you win. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. It did come down pretty heavy in that. So this first hour, so this was the open of Frankfurt of the DAX, and then the first hour was quite bearish. Mm-hmm. How many years have I been trading for? For a while now. Kind of started in 2016, but didn't take it serious for a while. Okay, seems like we might have break a structure. Could consider longs now. That's the first little piece of information you want to see. At least break a high that made a low. It's not the best structure though. I like it when it takes out second structure. So, but then you get in the really late entry. Yeah. Yeah, it's going lower. This is a dramatic turn of events, and we get like a 3 minute or 4 minute that can take that doji low and close strong bullish. Then there's no don't add to it. And if you didn't anticipate, like I'm already in the trade because I anticipate in London to go long. But if you're not in the trade and you're trying to go long, there's no price action here to suggest that just yet. So, but because I was already in that trade, anticipating it, then just waiting to see what London's going to do. But I definitely didn't. I was really hoping London was going to push straight up. Kind of what I did on, was it? It was yesterday. Friday. Friday, what I'm talking about. When I say yesterday on Mondays, means Friday. This is what I was hoping for. London Open, no bottom wick, just straight up. Straight up about 80 pips. the first 15 minutes, and it's literally been a fizzer, hasn't it? It's gone nowhere. J-Man. So he took the trade on the 5 minute, but been advised by the 1 minute rejection candle, 2nd minute, and the bullish candle after it that opened above. Advised with a 1 minute rejection candle in the 2nd minute. So this one. And then the bullish candle after it then opened above. Oh, okay. So you took it down here. Cool. How many trades do I take daily / weekly? Because I've got a daughter, it's a bit hard for me to do both sessions, but I try to do both sessions, London and New York. And I usually try to take like two per session. Well, as in, I'll have an idea, and if the first trade fails, I'll give that idea a second chance. So I'll take a second. So that kind of gives you a ballpark. I put some pending orders on in other areas. I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe like 15, 20. Yeah, it's that low volume days, and it's just lacking. This London Open is Europe had excellent volume for the actual open of the DAX, and then London's really taken its time to move around. Do I know Tom Hoog? Yeah, I've heard Tom Hoogard. It's quite cool, that guy. Crenley's giving me some advice. Don't know if it breaks below the recent low, be careful. So this is the thing. If it hits my stop loss, I'm not even looking at it right now. I really don't care if it hits the stop loss, because it's the idea that I've set, and every single trade I go into, the result doesn't affect my situation. So as much as what I've come to realize, the more I fiddle around with the trade management, I actually just do myself a disservice. So I always set my trades that if it hits my stop loss, I'll manage my trade if it's in profit, but in stop loss, so many times I've closed the trade out at literally the worst time, and then it's turned around. So what I do is I set my stop loss where only if it goes there, I'm going to say, oh, the trade just didn't work out. It could take ages before it starts moving around, and I know that if I close the trade out here, it'll go up. So I'd rather just let it hit my stop loss. So, and because of the negativity that I used to find with having losses, every time I enter a trade, the result now, if this closes out as a loss, it's not going to affect me whatsoever. I'm going to give us a second chance. Second chance, I don't get back in immediately. I need to wait for it to give me some bullish price action. But like literally here, I'm not looking at it. I'm just kind of ignoring it. If it's going to do what it does, if it stops me out, I'll hold onto my bias unless it does. If it just rips hard down, then maybe I'll say maybe it's not a good idea to be buying. But right here, unless it hits the stop loss, I don't care what it does inside of here. Many times I've closed literally to the pip and it's just gone up. So the result here is it doesn't bother me whatsoever. I never go in too much risk. Sometimes I've made mistakes, but I never go into too much risk that this is going to be like, oh my God, I'm panicking. And I know the way the candles move can create so much anxiety just because of the way they move. So if I wasn't streaming, a lot of the trades I'd be putting on, like if it gets to an area where I can feel a little bit of panic or a little bit of like anxious about the result, I'll literally go get a coffee or I'll just look away for a bit and that's my mechanism to get past those emotions. Now, when the trade's in profit, that's where I find the opposite happens, because I don't like to give things back. Once it's running in profit, I find that's me personally. I do scale out a little bit too quick, so that's something that I'm trying to work on. But when I sit here and talk and stream and explain things and try like explain my thinking process, I'm forced to look at the candles, and personally, I don't really like that. But I know it's also good for my development to be able to explain what I'm looking for, why I'm looking for, and it also puts pressure on me to like perform when I know I've got an audience, a small audience, but an audience nonetheless. And no one likes being wrong, especially no one likes being wrong on a stage, so to speak. So like that's just made me more resilient with my trading as well, to just be able to take a result and then just accept it. But yeah, I find being in profit way harder to see it come back than it is for me to hit my stop loss. But being able to accept seeing it hit your stop loss is the first part. Then being able to accept being in profit and then let it run more in profit, that is way harder for people than letting it hit your stop loss. But like set and forget. I much prefer set and forget, but set and forget is like setting the pending order at a specific level is, I find that quite difficult, because I still want to see price action confirms before I get into a trade. So like I like to set a pending order, as in I like to set an alert at a level I like, and then when it hits that level, then to see if I get at least some like price action confirmations, and then put the trade on and then forget about it. But set and forget, saying like I don't often put on, say like this area and say I love this area, I'm going to put a buy limit here, stop loss here, and then to see where it goes. When I do that, because I know when I've got to look after my daughter, it's really hard for me to focus on the charts, especially when she's so young. So that's where I will put like a limit order, but it doesn't stop me from doing. If I really love the level, I will put a pending order on. But what I'll do is I usually do give it a wider stop loss. Yeah, that's just like, you'll see a lot of the time that I'll have a target in mind where I think the daily candle can go, and if something happens and some news comes out and that target doesn't get hit today, it usually gets hit like in the next couple days. Like it's maybe I'm a day off or a couple of days off, so I'll leave my targets because I like a level. I like a level for a reason. The entry is the hardest bit in getting the best entry. Stop loss, you got to set your stop. You got to find an area where you're happy to say, look, I'm willing, like where I got in is purely can come down to luck in what you see, the timing that you see it, the candle that you see it that lures you in. But the stop loss, you should be quite happy with where, like, don't put stop losses under like swings necessarily, because swings can be so easy for the market to take you out. But put it underneath like something like underneath a liquidity candle or structure, and then give it like a bit of room, because price can sweep it quite easily. But don't put your stop loss saying like, oh, my stop loss should be safe here. Like, make sure you do have an element of risk reward that you're looking at, but also don't hold trades forever hoping that it turns around. But I'm comfortable with this area for our initial stop loss, and this is my overall target for the day. We need to close inside this gray area first. Now, where I've gotten in, all of this is purely comes down to how patient I am, how lucky I can be sometimes when you do get, like if London opened and then just went straight up, we'd be having a completely different conversation, because I would have got in at the best time. But because London is a little bit of a gamble when it opens, I don't always I don't like entering before London a lot of the time, unless I'm thinking that this move down was quite rapid, that we could have that just burst. So I don't want to miss the trade. So I'm willing to sacrifice a few pips in here to see where I could get in. But like if I got in down here, everyone would be, it'd be a completely different story that we're talking about. But because my entry's in, now in hindsight, it's not in a great spot. But it doesn't actually change the fact that my target hasn't changed. My initial stop loss level area hasn't changed. It's purely just where I got in. Now, seeing this red and seeing price go underneath, this is where it creates anxiety. So this is the bit where I'm like, I've accepted the result that I've entered this trade, knowing that I've put some risk on the table. I've got to accept that this trade has a loss potential. And now if it's pushing down, just because it's in a little bit of negativity, I shouldn't let that decision change how I'd manage that trade. I shouldn't let this dictate what happens, because if I was in the trade down here, I wouldn't be thinking about closing. But because I'm up in here, this is where the negative emotions comes in. Now, I shouldn't have entered this trade if I was too scared to lose. And I shouldn't have entered this trade. Or if I'm really worried about the result, that also means I've entered too big. And we do have bad days, good days, and bad days. Sometimes like I still make a mistake. I actually made a mistake on Friday, last Friday. That was telling the guys about, is when managing multiple accounts. So my personal account that I've got, which is my main focus. Then I've got a couple prop accounts, and then two of them have different lot sizes. And I was on the phone with my daughter, distracted, saw the trade, wanted to execute it on it, put it on my personal account, went to the prop account, and then hit buy as well. But the lot sizes are different. And I entered a trade way too big on the prop account. So initially, straight away, that the damage was done. And it stressed me. It stressed me because I entered something far too big on that particular account, just because of the way the lot sizes are calculated. So I had to close that one. And I took a 3% loss because the damage was done on how big the lot sizes were. And that trade ended up, like, on the personal account, it ran really well. On the prop account, that was a bad mistake, and I was stewing over it, because it was something that it was a dumb mistake to do. And it, like, ultimately it's yeah, I won't talk about too much. Stupid mistakes when you're distracted. But that's an example of when all of a sudden I had really negative emotions because I'd made a mistake and I lost far more than I actually wanted to on that little move. What hurts more is that it was avoidable. This, if the market goes down, I can't be angry at the charts, because it was a planned trade. This didn't work out. And if you look at your win rate over time, no one's got a 100% win rate. So there comes to some stage you need to accept that you got to take a loss. But there's so much human emotions, and that's where a lot of the stuff that we focus on is not necessarily trading price action, but sorry, let me rephrase that. We trade price action, but it's not necessarily trading particular levels, but it's about trading particular patterns where traders would have got in, and there's a typical reaction that humans do because the market is a reflection of human behavior. If you can start to spot some signs where like mistakes that I used to make and constantly get in, if I can start to spot that in price action, I know that there's going to be a never-ending stream of people that come into trade that will make the same mistakes that I did when I started. So if I can start to spot those areas that I made mistakes on, there's a typical reaction that will happen. And that's where that's like this particular trade is not an example of those ones. But we'll talk about it in another session. But the market in whole, if you can handle your psychology, that's one of the most important things about taking trades. Does anyone here? Sorry, I missed all these questions. Anyone else here scalp to impatient swing? so I in these streams, these London streams, these New York streams, I focus on scalping, but the pending orders, I don't mind holding it for a bit. But all these are pending orders based on swing. These London sessions we're here for scalping because it's quite fun. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So look at this guy. He's saying every trade he enters, he expects to lose. Doesn't care about losing, but win rate 54%, 2.7 risk reward. Perfect. You lose half your trades, but the ones that win double more than your losses. Perfect. Personally, I like to have I like to be right. So I like to have a good winning rate. So I do sacrifice some risk reward to try and get my winning rate up because I don't like entering a trade knowing that most likely I'm going to lose. So I like to enter a trade knowing that, out of every 4, I'll get like 3 right. For me, then it helps me actually enter the trade. I try to scalp chase. Oh yeah, I saw that bastard thing. I try to scalp chase even on the range charts or seconds charts, or only just stick to original strat. Yeah, and give things a second chance. That's what I find. All right. So now we need to see where this is going to go. I'll give it a second chance for these longs. The further it goes down, I find because we're in such a German, not so much. We are in a higher time frame range. Like all of this, just 3 minutes, not the best reflection of it, but 30-minute. You can see that it's pretty messy where we're at. But the ultimate presiding trend is bullish. Is bullish. Okay, since the start of November, it's been bullish. Now it has been messy since mid-December to now, but because we have been so bullish in the past, we don't really have any sort of like fear catalysts. Nothing dramatic yet. Ultimately, ECB is talking about rate cuts this year, so that's going to be a bullish driver for stocks. So as much as like when there's blood in the water, we should see like price come down in the elevator. We don't have that, and because price is so bullish, supports are more likely to hold than resistances are. So I'm leaning into buys consistently. So I'm still going to just I've got to wait now for price to set up properly again. But any support area that I have, if I see a price action that I like, I'll give it a go. And I'm willing to give 2 shots to this idea that longs, that at some stage there will be a long opportunity. But right now, underneath, once we broke underneath this level, I didn't see anything inside of here that would stop price. Hence why stop loss was here. And you see like how quickly it's just cut through the rest of this. Once that level gave up its ghost, it just cut straight through it. So there's no point holding this. Now, it would be lovely to be in these cells, but that wasn't the bias that I had. So now I just need to wait, and I'd like to see price give a reaction inside of here, and then I'll try to take that long. Target might be a little bit out of the question now, but it's it has happened before. But a typical London range for a day is around 120 pips. The typical price for the first hour of the London Open is typically 80 pips. This is for German 40. So if I think the typical range can be hit for 120, where that's getting back up to it's going to be a pretty tough stretch to get that take profit for now. But if we can keep on driving down, 80 pips, it's a bit low. We'll see. Anyway, if we get price action here, I'll give it another shot. First of all, though, one thing I do want to check is is there a reason why it's coming down that I've missed? Is there some new information that's come into the charts, into the markets, that can explain this? Explain why did Europe or Frankfurt Open do a liquidity grab and then drive down? So if it's just technicals, then we shouldn't see anything. But if it's a fundamental reason, we should see some headlines. So it's good to check. I don't really see anything. Maybe we'll come in later on, but at the moment, there's no fundamental headline that's driving this down. It just looks like volume. And a bit annoying that corrected this whole Asian move. Okay, so it's pretty much come down to this London low, Asian low. Now, if for me to see some sign of a bottom in here, I don't want to take 1 minute structure, 2 minute structure. I want to see at least a 3 or a 4 minute rejection liquidity candle. Right on Friday's MPOC. What's MPOC? Depending on the timing and the volume and like the shape of it, I can take it on just one candle. This is kind of a little bit ugly now, so I would want to see this candle close and then a bit of a retest if it gives it. I'll be really annoyed if this just goes straight up like that. That'll be really annoying. No, it didn't mean FOMC. I'm not sure what MPOC is. Still waiting for NY and London low from Friday to be taken first. Well, here in this area where we're seeing this lovely little bounce, we've got New York 50%, and we've got the Asian low. Oh, you're in this, Manny. Nice one. Okay. So 3-minute close nice. 4-minute, like it's a big candle though. That's a little bit ugly. Haven't quite taken the Asian low. This has definitely got sellers' attention now. So this is where I wonder if there is going to be a bit of a seller's trap. So I think I'll enter for a buy. If price breaks this candle, I'll keep my stop loss underneath this area. Okay, I'll give it another shot from here. Stop loss will stay underneath here. And I'll see if this buy can hold and we can start to push back up. Again, keep your risk low. Oh, that's not good. I was way too quick. Anyway, let's see how it goes. I really wanted to see that 3-minute candle. Yeah, that's not good. Actually, this one here, I'm going to get out pretty quickly. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to see. So I'll recoup some of that bullet. Let's just see what wait for it to show some sort of support from underneath here. I'm still hoping this Asian session we can find some liquidity, and we can find some liquidity inside of this New York 50%. If we're having like a significant close under here, then the same thing is I think it could actually move down pretty quickly. So I'm hoping that this is going to hold. I just want to see some price action. Still think this could be a seller's trap. Some sellers will be really keen to get into this. And sometimes a seller's trap will happen here. Then it really looks good for sellers and they're expecting it to keep on going lower, but it starts pushing up. And other times it'll drive lower and get breakout sellers in keen before then it drives up. Okay. All right. I'm going to give this one a go again. If we start breaking this candle's high, I'll jump back into it. I want to see it wick down a little bit, and I want to see it start breaking these highs this time. Yeah. Push down a little bit. I'm not in this trade just yet. When it pushes up, yeah, if it breaks its own high now, I'll get back into this one. If it continues pushing down, if this candle stays and closes under this wick, then I'm going to have to wait for it to drive lower. But right now, if this one can flip up, and it will start looking like a liquidity rejection wick. Oh, there's the 3 minute, Tom. I'm flicking back and forth between the ones and the twos. Oh, sorry, the ones and the threes. Francis thinks I'm catching falling knives. That's fine. Sports Hub would go short. That's fine. I'm not like the price action here doesn't phase me, because everyone would have been saying the same thing up here. People would have been saying, I'd go long. That's what people would be saying. I'd be going long up here. When you hit these session highs, lows, or like areas, price reverses. Okay, so close of the wicks, not too bad. Prefer it to close bullish, but it didn't close lower. So I think we can get a lower entry potentially. Still just need to wait and see how this is shaping up. 4 minute, is that still open or is that closed? 4 minute close. Oh, a bit of a doji. All right. So 4 minutes not looking that convincing. So there's no buyers yet. Five minute. Nothing on the 5 minute. Yeah, just wait for now. Like wait for it to take out this low. this little box. And then give a candle that more or less looks where is one? I have to draw it. Get a 3 minute or 4 minute candle that looks like this. And importantly, should break the candle wick to the left. See something like that, then I'll jump in. But for now, there's this one is like, it's okay, but it's not exactly what I wanted to see. And on the 3 minutes there, 4 minute, I don't get that same feeling of confidence. And 5 minute, I definitely don't just yet. 30-minute imbalance candle just below the price. Let's have a look at that. 30-minute. Oh, just over here. Yeah. Yeah. If it's getting that low, then I've got to wait a long time, I think. If it's getting under here. Oops. You just trade level support. No, you obviously no, man. You should minimum wait for engulfing. I just sort of do wait for a liquidity candle. So I'm waiting for a candle that I like. So just like this, where is it? Something like this. Something like that. It's not the best one because of the body, but I'm looking for a rejection wick or a liquidity candle. So that's why I'm not in this trade. Literally waiting for it and anticipating. So a lot of the time, what I'm looking for is if it was breaking these lows, and I was saying once it was breaking those lows, not this particular candle, but like say this one, it was breaking these lows, and if it starts flipping bullish, then what I'm doing is it's going to be looking like this. It's going to be looking quite bullish, like a bullish engulfing bar. So it's just whether you get it in anticipating the candle to close, or whether it has closed. So, oh shoot, sorry about that. So there's no trade right here. First trade was on anticipation, London pushing up. It didn't work out. So now I'm waiting to see for a zone that I've got, waiting for price action to show me. Okay, so at least we've got a couple little dojis, a little bit of pause. So level's holding at least. Now it's got to wait. $125 pips from the high. Yeah, like us, I don't think after going this far down now, like holding it all the way in full position, all the way to my original target, I think that's a bit of a stretch at the moment. So what I've been looking for is just looking for, obviously the momentum was to the downside, and I was hoping to catch the momentum with the trend. But now, given this, I don't want to switch my bias, because I know when I switch my bias, that's when I just start. If I switch my bias and start looking for sells here, I should have already had that bias and taken advantage of that. So whilst I thought there was a potential for continuation on the higher time frame, now as it's pulling down into my other levels that I've got, now I'm looking for just like a kind of like a scalp reaction. Hopefully it can continue on, but it changes will manage my trade. That's the main thing. So now I'll look to take a little bit of profits earlier, because I don't want to really fight this downtrend. But if you guys are saying that it's going down lower, why don't you enter a sell? Enter a sell now. Yeah, I agree. Like, there's buys coming. It's just about now waiting to find the price action from these zones. So I've got my zones in. Just got to wait for the price action. And the lower it gets as well, the more confident I am that there will be a bounce. So definitely not forcing anything in here. There's nothing, there's no reason to be getting in. Unless we get like a flip, or we get some of their closes bullish, and you're anticipating that it's going to close bullish, there's no reason to be looking for, there's no reason to be in buyers just yet. For me anyway. I don't see any of my triggers. Okay, now if we can sweep this area and then start getting some reactions under here, I would say that price from these highs coming down, taking the euro low, taking the Asian 50%, taking the Asian low, taking the New York 50%, and then pushing into, like, you've got a 30-minute imbalance candle here. Enough liquidity has been picked up to expect a bounce. Whether that bounce is going to be a big bounce or a little bounce, I'm not arguing how big it's going to be, but I think there will be a bounce. Price can't just keep on falling forever. So as long as you're comfortable with your entries, then there should be an entry. Okay, what's gold doing? All right, so that zone didn't hold. There was nothing to do inside of here. Have to wait for the next zone. H4 candle's massive. Yeah, far out. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll also look to see what it does with these 4-hour levels. So see, you got all these wick rejections. Whether I'll just put this gray area. Wick rejection, rejection, failure to closes. Then when it did close impulsively, rejection, rejection. So I'll look to this level to see if we can get that bounce from it. So it's not too far away. It's only another 20 pips. Then that's 110 pips in this first. Wait, if it falls down there, that's getting close to a typical London range. Currently, where it's at now is 90 pips from top to bottom. That's good volume for a 90 for a London Open. Really good volume. Congrats to those that took sells, that saw their sells. Okay, but if I get a liquidity candle off of this gray zone, then I'll enter. I have to enter as part of the game plan. Yeah, email Trading Nut, Eli. If you want to come on do live streams, email him. Okay, this is the plan. At least something like that. Maybe get like a 50 pip correction. Just gonna wait. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you can't do it in front of people and then like take the result as it is, like you need to be able to like it's if you're just hiding all the losses, if you're hiding the way you're thinking as well, then it's difficult to progress. If you can do it in front of people, and hold your nerve and hold your values and everything, then over time you'll be a good trader. That's the thing. Like I hate taking losses for sure, especially in front of people. But God, social media is bloody toxic. Like the amount of comments and stuff that comes through is incredible. So, but like I hope I can at least pass on some knowledge or at least pass on some ideas to people that are trying to learn, and then see that people will do this in front of you live, because it's very easy for someone to show screenshots and then tell you what they would do, but actually show me then come on and then do it in front of people. So it's important to like be there every day, consistent, set yourself up and like show consistency. Obviously not every day works out, but if you can show consistency and support to people, then they're going to be people that take a lot out of it and that actually enjoy coming to the charts every day. Shouldn't see this as like, really negative, but there are so many negative people on social media that watch it and they're literally here just to see me fail, and that's okay. Days when I take a loss, they love it, man. They absolutely love it. Days when I take a win, I don't get that same sort of like, oh my God. I'm not after that either whatsoever. But it's amazing that people just latch on to negativity and think like it's amazing, like all the looking into like people like seeing failure, fear, tragedy. People like it. People love to slow down. Like how many people would slow down and look at a car crash on the freeway? Not many people would slow down to admire someone driving slow and safe. Like, oh man, look at that person staying in the center of the lane, driving super, super safe, giving 3 seconds car length between the car. Like how many people slow down and look at those people? By a car crash, everyone stops, has a look. Damn, man, 1 minute. 1 minute's created that engulfing. I'm quite at the zone, like 3 pips away from that zone. Guess you could call this the little order block that built this whole move, the red candle that we're ejected from. This is the most annoying thing, is when you got your zones and it's like it just turns around before it. But we'll see. I'll still hold out. I don't trace trades. So like even if it turns around, if it doesn't hit my zone, then there's no entry for me. Oh, 5-minute candle close, really nice. 5-minute close, beautiful. 4-minute, not so much. 3-minute is looking like it's going to close this one here. But I'll see if it can just retest the base of this candle. The 5-minute candle close, really nice. 2-minute close, nice. Hey, Rayleigh. Damn, if this turns around and just goes without me, that'll be really frustrating. It's a good question. Probably not. Because on the, oh, actually, yeah, oh, maybe. Yeah, I think it was more this level that the entry was there for a bounce, and whether it's just a bounce or whether it's going to be correct a lot of this London move. So like if it's coming back down again, I don't think I want to cowboy something that's looking so strong to the downside, especially when we've had like this. This is a decent little bounce that's made now. Like I like to take if I'm going to take a cowboy trade, it would be after an acceleration because that fast move is often the false move. But if it's sort of grinded down, and then if this is actually going to turn around from here, then what we should be seeing is it shouldn't be like a turnaround shouldn't be starting with a V shape. A proper turnaround should be a test, grab liquidity, and then trap sellers into it, and then give a reversal. And whether it stops here or drips a little bit lower, like the cowboy for me is a little bit dangerous because you're really anticipating a lot of things. Whereas if you wait for price action to give the retest and then confirm that it was a trap and then push him back up, I think that would be a safer entry that I'd rather take than getting in the first entry. Joey, you took it on the 5-minute close. Hope your stop loss isn't too tight. Yeah, I hope so for you as well, for your sake. Hopefully it just rises from here. But nice close. Little bit two minds about it. I don't want to enter here. A little bit two minds. I didn't hit the level. Let's check this news again. It's a little bit of German news. Martin Luther King Day. Oh, nice, Daniel. Oh, you called that, didn't you? 30. Who? But two people called it. Is it Jim and Daniel? Good one. Over time, yeah. I think so many people get hung up on just on a single result, where it's trades over time. Okay, come on. The danger area now to see whether this is going to hold this previous area, or if it did it come all the way down to basically close to the New York low, and we start to correct some of this move, at least maybe back up to this 16,722. Doesn't take out the New York low. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Trying to think of the day. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I know. That's the thing about this is the one you sent. That's the thing about German lately is been given a clean move just before the London Open. It is indeed. Okay. What are we looking? Are we frozen? No, we're still moving. If price shows a reaction from here, so just hypothetically, an example of price pushing down and then showing a reaction and then rallying, this level will become good for another reaction, like a potential another bounce. So that's an example of like, we don't know if this is gonna play out yet, but if that did happen, then this level, like if you see these kind of patterns play out, these are good for reactions. Okay, 15 minutes closed now. Pretty nice. Problem is this level, this zone. still holding. Yeah, looking good for a bounce. So nice bounce. Has moved close to 50 pips from these lows. A bit annoying that it's not from that zone, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's kind of the reaction I wanted, that 50 pip reaction. Yeah, value bids. Yeah, I agree, mate. I absolutely agree with you. All right. Well, timing's kind of getting away now. So I'm wondering, a lot of the time we'll get, let's look at this. We'll get initial momentum. We had good momentum for the open, and then we do get into a little bit of a holding pattern quite often. Okay, so this previous day, look at this day as well. Some good volatility. then price does fall into. Oh, this was CPI day, so that's no surprise. Wait, yeah, that's CPI day. Previous day again. Oh, that was more consolidation at the start. So I'm going to plan some ideas, but I'm not going to sit around and wait for it. Look, there's no point just watching here. So this level, I really wanted to see this level hit for that reaction. So I missed my move. I didn't get anything. So, but I saw the ones that did take this 5-minute candle and then jumped in, run in nicely. If we can get a bit of a pullback, what we want to see for this continuation, for this reversal, if it's going to reverse this whole move, what you want to see is you don't really want to see an acceleration to the upside and then a rejection. What you want to see is a rejection, price sort of drift up and then come down and like hesitate, and then give like little fake outs, rejection wicks from underneath, and then break this high. If that's the case, then you're much more likely to have a full correction, at least back up to at least this area. And then potentially, if we can close above London high, we might start getting some reactions from up here, but it'll bode really well for that move up if it gives a little pullback sooner than later. If it pushes up and accelerates, then likely we could have either price can fall and we could start to range, or it was literally a liquidity grab, and then we're going down to retest these London lows again. Perhaps even push down, make a new low before that reversal comes in. Kind of what looks like on NAS. I'll show you the shape that I'm have in mind. It was a shape from was it Friday? Was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. This one. Okay, so after CPI, had a nice move down. It had a lot of volume, and then you got a good bounce. But when it pushed up here and it sort of went down a little bit, like this candle, what it did is accelerated up first, and then it came down. And then with that rejection from the upside, it actually led to a new lower low before the actual true low of the day was in. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about with German 40 is that it didn't quite hit the zone, and it could just turn around from here. Like there's always the possibility or potential for it to do whatever it wants. But having this rejection, if it pushes up and we get that acceleration to the upside without having like a little meaningful correction, then I think we might actually make a new low for the day before we see that bottom. So I still want to hold out for this area. So what I'm going to do myself personally is I'm going to be setting an alert at this area that I was waiting for. And if we can actually, if I'm lucky enough that price does come down and retest this at some stage today, then I'll be looking for rejections. I don't think with the New York volume is going to have enough of a catalyst to break down further. I think the New York session is going to be a bit sluggish. So what I'd look for is this alert going off, a rejection or some sort of like formation to form that I like rejections, and then seeing fake outs from underneath this New York low, this London low, and then look for that little, maybe even if price consolidates in this range, it's still like a good 50 pip range. So that's my plan. That's my plan. Set the alert and pop it in, and then see if this plan actually does play out. If it just rejects from here and then goes up, there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. So I just need to accept that that's the result, that I didn't get the result that I wanted in the first open. Price pushed down. Yeah, I didn't quite get to my zone, but that's the way that trading can be sometimes. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. So I wish you guys the best for the rest of your session. I think we're on tomorrow as well. So let's just see if we can come back tomorrow, how we perform. Ones that want to come on and present and show your thing, absolutely more than welcome. Email trading that guy. have a conversation with him and then see what you guys can bring to the table. The more people that are live streaming on here, the better. You know, that's the main thing. Alrighty. Trading up, guys. See ya.